Hello viewers, welcome to the channel Smart Study with Shavani. Today I am back with one more video about the tiny world of the microbes. In the previous video, we studied about microbes, the basic definition of microbes. Features: they were to respire, to reproduce, and to grow. Different conditions required by the microbes to grow. The mnemonic taught to you was Fox went to war. F stands for food, Ox stands for oxygen, then warmth and water. We also studied about the advantages of the microbes, how they are useful to us. We studied about disadvantages, how harmful they are not only to us but to the plants as well as to the animals. We also studied about the precautions, that is, how to stop the growth of the microbes. And finally, we studied about different types of microbes. They were bacteria, fungi, viruses, algae, protozoa, helminthes, and so on. Continuing about today's video, before starting the new topic, I have brought for you a small quiz related to the past video. We will have a look on the questions. First, how do single-celled microbes reproduce? Second, mention the 4 conditions required by the microbes to grow. Third, can disinfectants be used on human skin? Which bacteria is used in making yogurt? Next, name the microbes which are eaten as food. And one small MCQ. Microbes are harmful to: first, only plants; second, animals and human beings; third, both A and B, or none of the above. I have kept my comment section open. Feel free to write your answers in the comment section and I will get back to you with your score. So today's topic of discussion, it will be about in detail studies about the viruses, bacteria and fungi, how microbes are grown in laboratory, and about infection. So without much ado, we start our today's topic of discussion. I have prepared a tabular format having various parameters like size, structure, look, uses, and how microbes are harmful. And we will do the comparison of virus, bacteria, and fungi. First parameter, if we look, is about the size. So virus, it is tiny. Length is only 1/1,000,000th of a millimeter. That's why we require microscope to view it. Second is bacteria. They are comparatively larger than virus. Length is around 1,000th of a millimeter. About fungi, they can be very small or very large. Yeast can be seen only with the microscope as it is very small. Next parameter of study is structure. The strand of genetic information in virus, it is surrounded by a protein coat, which is diagrammatically shown in the below thing. There is a genetic strand and there is a hexagonal shaped protein coat around it. About bacteria, living cells containing cytoplasm and a loop of genetic information is surrounded by a cell wall. Picture is shown below for detailed reference. For fungi, lots of living cells with nuclei and cell walls joined together in long strands called hypae. So over here, they can ask you about the differences between virus bacteria or differences between bacteria and fungi or comparison of all the 3 microbes. So first comparison will be on the basis of the size. Second comparison will be on the basis of the structure. Third, absence of the protein coat and absence of the cell wall, vice versa. Now going back to the uses. Virus, basically they are harmful, so there are no uses or the advantages. For bacteria, yes, they are helpful. Some of them are helpful, so they are used to make yogurt. For fungi, they are used in medicines, mainly the antibiotics, which we studied last time, and the name of the antibiotic is penicillin. Apart from that, they are also used in bread, that is, yeast is being used. Then it is also used in preparing wine and beer. Now, going to the harmfulness, all the disadvantages. Basically, if we look at the common point, then all release poisons. They invade tissues and take over cells, making millions of copies of themselves inside the cell. So basically, they duplicate. They grow very fast. They produce themselves very fast. Going to the bacteria, they multiply quickly. Each one can release poison which can attack the cells. About the fungi, it grows quickly, release poisons which can attack cells. So what is common in all the three? They grow, multiply quickly, and they release poisons which can attack the cells. Moving ahead, we have the quiz of basis the comparison chart which we studied. How many types of microbes did you study? Name them. Very simple, right? It's about bacteria, fungi, and virus. What is the smallest type of microbe? So going to the first parameter, that is the size, you will compare the size of 3 and you will answer. So we have studied that first one, which is virus, it is 1 millionth. In bacteria, it is 1000, and fungi, it is visible with the naked eye except yeast. So which is the smallest? Obviously, it is the virus. Which microbes are made of living cells? We will go to the second parameter, that is the structure. We will check that which is made up of the living cell. Virus, they are having protein wall, protein coat, and second bacteria, they are made up of living cells. So the correct answer is bacteria. Uses of microbes, we have seen that they are used in preparation of yogurt, medicines, wine and beer. So you can write any of them. Why can microbes make you ill? So we will go to the last parameter, which is harmful. We will compare and we will write the correct answer. Next question is, how the genetic information is surrounded by, first in virus, second in bacteria. So we just had a look that in virus it is surrounded by a protein coat, and in the bacteria it is surrounded by a cell wall. It is clearly visible in this picture. Hope so far you are clear with the points and we are going together. Now the last question from this chart can be, write two differences of each virus and bacteria. So as discussed, one parameter can be the size. You can compare the size of both and write it down. Second can be the structure of each, that it is a genetic strand covered with a protein coat and another having living cells and covered with a cell wall. Third can be uses. One is used in preparation of yogurt, second is used in the preparation of the medicines, beer, wine and so on. Moving ahead, now we will go to the next topic, that is, how are the microbes grown to make food. First is about the bread. Just now we discussed that yeast, which is a fungi, is used to make bread. The basic ingredients of the bread are flour, sugar, water, fat, along with the yeast. So what happens is, yeast cells start to reproduce once they are mixed with the warm water and the sugar, resulting in the dough to rise. So there can be the question, what causes the dough to rise in the bread or even in the pizza? So the answer can be, for yeast cells, which are used in the preparation of the bread, food is sugar. It makes carbon dioxide when it respires. So the bread rises because yeast makes the bubbles of carbon dioxide. Hope you are clear with the process. Now, very important, there is a condition in which the growth of the yeast can occur the best or properly. And one of the parameter of that is the correct temperature. If you remember, in the previous video, I shared the mnemonic Fox went to war, where war stands for warmth. Warmth is nothing but the correct temperature required by the microbes, in this case is the yeast, to grow. Now we will have the second product, which is the yogurt. We see how the yogurt is made. Certain bacteria named lactobacillus change milk into yogurt. Two different bacteria are added to the milk. When mixed with milk, they turn sugar called lactose into acid called lactic acid. This entire process is termed as fermentation. So basically, the process of turning sugar named lactose into acid named lactic acid in milk is termed as fermentation. The lactic acid makes the protein particles in the milk stick together, giving a milk thicker structure or texture and forming yogurt. As discussed, temperature or warmth is one of the conditions for the proper growth. So the best temperature to form the yogurt is 46 degrees. How are the microbes grown in the laboratory? Microbes are grown in the lab using petri dish. Here the image is given to you for a better clarification and understanding, which contains a layer of agar. So what is agar now? It is a special jelly which provides good conditions for the bacteria and fungi to grow, which also contains all the food they need to survive. So here in the picture it is seen that we are doing an experiment over here. So sterilize a wire loop by dipping it in ethanol. Heat it in the blue Bunsen burner flame as shown in the diagram here. Care to be taken is keep the ethanol away from the burner as it is very flammable. So students, you have to do this experiment under some adult supervision or in the labs where there are lab assistants or the teachers available to guide you, assist you. Now let the loop cool down and dip it into the fish paste. This is the fish paste used. Continuing further, take the lid off the petri dish and spread the fish paste in the clear lines across the agar. As we play the cross and zero and the lines are made, you have to prepare the lines like this. I can expand the image and show you. Hope this is clear to you. Next is we put the lid back on the petri dish immediately to stop the other microbes getting in. Now we will tap up the petri dish immediately to stop anyone opening it. Leave the petri dish in the warm place. Again, remember the condition, temperature. So upside down to stop the water collecting on the surface of the agar. Keep checking it every few days. Never open the petri dish to look the growth of the microbes. If you at all you are excited, just have a look through the plastic only to avoid any infection to you, because the bacteria which they have grown might be dangerous or infectious and can cause problems to you. So now we have heard about the term infectious. What is this infectious? So, infectious is basically infection. What is an infection? An infection occurs when harmful germs like bacteria, viruses, fungi, or parasites, they enter our body, they multiply, they cause damage to our tissues. It is basically the invasion and the growth of these microbes which can lead to illness, inflammation, and symptoms like pain, fever, cold, cough, flu, etc. There is a new terminology, pathogen. What is pathogen? In any organism that cause a disease. So if we look back at the example we saw about bacteria, we have good bacteria as well as bad bacteria. Good bacteria are the bacteria which help to human body or human being by making yogurt. Bad bacteria are those which cause disease. So the bacteria which cause disease or any organism that cause disease are termed as pathogen. Now they enter our body through various means, maybe through direct contact, contaminated surfaces, or air. So infections can spread through these means. So basically the method of passing the microbes from one person to another is termed as transmission. Hope you are clear with these terminologies. They are the technical scientific terms and you have to use correct word at correct place. I can repeat the process for you, definitions for you. Infection, it occurs when the harmful germs or even you can write microbes like bacteria, viruses, fungi or parasites enter our body. They grow, they multiply, they damage our tissues. And it leads to illness, inflammation, symptoms like pain, fever, cough, cold, they are seen. Another terminology we discussed was about pathogens. Any organism which cause disease is a pathogen. Now, transmission. Infection is spread. How they are spread? Through various means, that is through direct contact, contaminated surfaces, contaminated water or even air. So the process or a method of passing microbes from one person to another is termed as transmission. Now this is all from my end today in this video, but in next video we will have a detailed discussion on causes of infection, how microbes enter our body, how can infection be avoided, how to stop the spread of the disease. So many hows, right? Pathogen against disease, protection against the disease, and what happens if microbes enter our body. All this and many more is there in the next video. Till then, stay tuned to the channel Smart Study with Shivani. Keep liking my videos. Thank you and have a great day ahead. Enjoy study with Smart Study with Shivani.